And now joining us in studio to look into the implications of the decision and its bearing on censorship of the media is social political commentator Tino Mabeo, and he joins us in studio. A very warm welcome to you and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening to you and good evening to your viewers.
Now, the colonial plan that came with white settlers was to control the African continent. What are your views when it comes to having diversity on the media platform, especially on the African continent?
Well, let me start by mentioning that today is a sad day for democracy in South Africa. Today is a day that the black child has been put down, has been shown that there is nothing that you can actually achieve. We are looking at a story here whereby certain people who influence Multichoice have seen it fit to stop giving access to ANN7 on DSTV. But now what that does to the people is it leaves the black child demoralized before we go any further. Before we can even speak of the possible loss of employment, we are affected as black entrepreneurs. We would expect that after they've done their investigations and found out that there was no wrongdoing on the part of Multichoice and ANN7, it would be therefore wise for Multichoice to go ahead and celebrate the opportunity that has come into the hands of Mzwale Ndemanyi. Mzwale Ndemanyi is a guy that comes from the township who saw an opportunity and grabbed it with both his hands. But here is a coterie of a few individuals that devise a devious plan to take away that opportunity and to demoralize blacks in general. I would look at this as something that is similar to say that we have got a hospital that is treating people in society and then coming to say that we are not going to be supplying medicines to that hospital simply because it has had a past bad reputation. I think people must understand that ANN7 has not only been speaking for the black majority, but it has also been helping in alleviation of unemployment in South Africa. Now, for them to say that we want to provide an opportunity for another black player to come on board. We already have a black player. What they should be saying is we are going to open more for black players to come on board. I do not think that out of the millions and millions of people that watch DSTV, we only need one African player. We need as much as we can get, and this is quite regrettable. We hope that they look into the mirror and say what they've done is not good for the people of South Africa and the people of the region at large. ANN7 is not only watched in South Africa, it is watched across Africa and the globe, and we rely on it for fair coverage of the events as they unfold.
Speaking about black majority, let's look at some of the countries on the continent that have been controlled when it comes to media for some kind of gain. What are the main reasons for such attempts, especially on the African continent?
Well, this is a colonial agenda. This is a neo-colonial agenda that seems to not want to know any limits. You would remember that ANN7 has been a leading light in exposing corruption that has been happening. I would mention it SAA in areas where white monopoly capital has been benefiting. And ANN7 has been the voice that provided all those, and people were now being able to see. But now, where else is our voice as blacks going to be heard if ANN7 is no longer there? So this is an idea, this is a colonialist mentality that now sees it's ugly head in a society that is a society of democracy in a new South Africa. But as I said, this is not a blow to to South Africans only. It's a blow to Zimbabweans. It's a blow to people in Ghana. It's a blow to everybody that feels that the African child must be given a chance. I reiterate this. They have got to look at the decision that they have made today. Its implications on freedom of expression. We relied on the ANN7 channel to express ourselves, and we thought that would be getting more channels of this nature where we can then go and say this is what we believe in and this is what we want to see Africa being in the form of. But now it's quite regrettable. I do not know, after such investigations having been made and finding no blame on either ANN7 and Multichoice themselves, then they come out with such a decision. I think this is a political matter that seeks to silence voices that speak to the contrary. We have got a crisis in Africa and we have got to do something to make sure that we get out of it.
And looking at silencing voices in Africa, pulling the plug on the only black-owned channel in South Africa, a blow to digital transformation goals, don't you think?
It's a big blow to the people. It's a big blow to Africans in general. I will reiterate that. You would be expecting at this moment in time that Multichoice will be supporting Jimmy Manyi, will be supporting this station with all the support that it can get, because that is our only dream that we have. This is the symbol of African entrepreneurship. The negotiations that were done, they said there was no problem in the negotiations. Everything that was done was found to be above board. And to come again and say that he has got to reapply. Why should he reapply if he is already there? Do they look at the potential losses that he's going to face? No, I don't think they have looked at that. I think they are only trying to create platform for people that they think are suitable blacks. And that leaves quite a lot to be desired. I think our government has got to put in place policies that make sure that the carriers such as DSTV do not have monopoly over who comes and who does not come. They will then put the nation into disrepute.
And ANN7 being made a scapegoat by Multichoice to protect their own business from political pressure. What's your thoughts on that?
Firstly, what I would like to say is that ANN7 should, Multichoice should not react to what business say. They should react to what South Africans want. They are here in South Africa to serve the needs of South Africans and Africans at large, and every other person on the globe. So for them to actually bear the pressure that is being put on them by certain politically connected individuals who happen to be the people that have oppressed South Africans for quite a long time, we will look at where Multichoice is coming from. For them to come to this end, I think is quite regrettable. We do not expect that from them in a new and prosperous and democratic South Africa. We need to continue to widen views, and we need to continue to have platforms where we can express ourselves. But this thing of monopoly over the media is becoming a pain in the lives of the people of the continent at large.
Iran, thank you very much for coming in studio and giving us more details on this.
Thank you so much.
And that was a social political commentator, Tino Mabia, just giving us more details as we know that Multichoice has decided not to renew its contract with TV news channel ANN7, despite an investigation finding no wrongdoing on the part of the channel.